You are listening to Studio MacGyver's Dragon Ball and Video Game Podcast.
What's going down, guys? It is your boy, Studio MacGyver, and you are listening to Studio MacGyver's Dragon Ball and Video Game Podcast. Welcome back. So glad you could make it. Got a lot to talk about this episode, so strap it in, guys. We're getting ready to make that trip. I'm going to start with some Nintendo topics, discussions, or whatever you want to call it, but it's focusing on the Switch. And just thought I'd share a little something with you guys in case you did not know. Resident Evil 7 is going to be coming out for the Nintendo Switch. A lot of people, I have a few friends out here in these streets that really loved Resident Evil 7. And the news that is coming to the Switch, I guess you could say, is pretty dope, to say the least. The question I have is, how's it going to compare to, the one that is out on the other console, man? How is that going to fare, graphically? Will there be glitches? Will there be, all of those type of things? I don't know, man, because we all know that, the Switch isn't working with as much power as the other consoles and everything like that. So it's going to be interesting to see how that happens. But I mean, it is cool to see Nintendo trying to make moves, trying to do different things, trying to add other titles to their library, because, for somebody who just has a Switch, for whatever reason, maybe that's just you're a fanboy and you love your Nintendo over everything else. I mean, there's certain games that you would definitely want to play other than, first party exclusives, sometimes. I mean, like a Resident Evil or, Skyrim or something like that. You know what I mean? So that's pretty cool. Hopefully this practice continues with Nintendo. I'm quite sure that there's a lot of games that they're not going to be able to, make available because of the limitations of the Nintendo Switch, but that's all good. It's good to see that they are working with certain games and trying to get games that will work for the system. Now, we'll just have to see how that turns out. But that's a plus if it's, at least in my book for the Nintendo Switch, because I haven't played Resident Evil 7. And, when I do get the Switch, that might be something I might be thinking about picking up on the go. You know what I mean? Because like I said, I'm the guy that is going to be playing in bed, or when I'm like out in the streets or whatever, when I play the Switch. I probably won't play much, with the machine docked and all of that. It'll just be, bedtime, or it'll be more of a portable device for me. But that's just me, you know what I mean? Moving on from that, they also announced cloud streaming. Now, I delve into this a little bit, and basically what they're trying to do is they got something to where I guess you pay a certain fee, like say $20, and then that buys you 180 or so days to play that game. And, that's more than enough time to, get the game, beat the game or whatever. And then after that, the game is, I guess, null and void. I guess it's you don't have access to it anymore unless you choose to pay, another 20. Now, there's pluses to this and there's minuses. You can look at it both ways. Now, from what I've been reading and what I've been hearing is there's a lot of people out here in these video game streets that, don't like this. And their argument would be, well, we don't get to own the game. We're renting the game basically is what we're doing. But if you look at it like this, the other way, I mean, yeah, you're renting the game technically, but 180 days, that's like, what is that, 6 months or some shit? It's a crazy amount of days. And, you know, I don't know about you guys, but most games that I play and beat and finish, I never touch again unless it's just like a classic of mine and I just, you know, have to own the game physically. And I'm sure a lot of you guys understand that. And there's some people who like to do that too, but there's some people out there who just like to play the game, finish it, and get it done with. Case in point, God of War, when it first came out, I rented it from the Redbox, and I think I had it for about a week, and it cost me like $20 before I decided that, number one, I wasn't finished with the game, and I'm a sucker for exploration, and if I love the game, I'm going to dive 100% into it, and I'm going to try to get everything, and that's what I plan to do with this game. So I said, well, shit, I didn't know it was going to be this fucking good. I want it now, so I went and bought it, and it still cost me the price of the game, full price, plus $20 it cost me to rent the game, which I didn't even get a chance to finish it all, and I had it for about a week at the Redbox. So you could pay that $20, and you could have it for damn near 6 months, and then you could play it, beat it, and then even come back to it later and play it again, and it only costs you $20, and then you're good. You know what I mean? Or just buy the game physically. Buy the game. If you don't want to do the streaming thing. And also, it brings me to another topic, because if they're doing this, I think what Nintendo is leaning towards is they're going to take a lot of these games and have them streaming only. A lot of these titles, and I'm just speculating here. It just seems like that might happen, and I'm just going to leave that there. I mean, but the main thing is, how do you guys feel about that? Do you think that $20 is too much for 180 days? That seems like a pretty good kind of deal. The only way I'd say that it wouldn't be a cool deal, and Nintendo is guilty of this shit all the time, is when they put shit out, their prices never tend to drop too often. And if it does, it takes fucking forever for them to drop. I mean, there's still DS games, not the 3DS, but there's still DS games out there in those streets that if you ran up in a GameStop or you ran them to a pawn shop or whatever, you're going to pay damn near full price for them. Especially if it's like a Mario game or some shit like that. And that's just how they are with their shit. You know what I mean? And so say you wanted to check a game out and pay that $20, but it could be an old ass game. It might be something like old as fuck, where you can go buy that game, possibly buy that game for the same price for $20. So you could buy it for $20 and have it physically in your hand, or you could just pay that $20 and then have it for, a limited time, and then it's gone and you have to pay another $20. Now, when you're, facing something like that, of course, you would buy the physical copy. Now, I don't know how that's going to relate to, their prices like at GameStop or Walmart or whatever. And then you compare that to, doing it the other way. I'm sure they got somebody, working on that. I'm sure they're going to try to, finagle the situation, in their favor when it comes to shit like that. Maybe keep a lot of their games at that peak price and don't really drop it. And then, force you to kind of make that decision, paying, more to keep the game for the physically, or paying less to just keep it for a limited amount of time. So yeah, man, I mean, that's Nintendo talk. That's where I'm at with that. I will let that go. But I'd like to hear you guys. I'd like to hear what you guys think about this. I want to know where all my Nintendo Switch fans at out here in these streets. I want to know what you think about this. Do you think that'd be dope? Do you think it wouldn't be? I mean, you could kind of play it, to your advantage in a sense. There might be one game you want to do that with, and then you try it out, and then the next time you might want to buy it physically. I mean, who knows? I mean, like I said, Nintendo Switch is still in its infancy right now. They still got a lot of things like that they're working on, because I mean, it hasn't totally completely arrived yet. You know what I mean? And I'm just waiting for that moment. I'm waiting for, everything to be finally worked out, with all the main updates and everything. So basically where I can look at the system and say, okay, this is the system. This is what it is. You know what I mean? This is it right here. This is the main meat and potatoes of the system. And, the only thing that's going to change now is just new games coming out for the future. That's it. And or maybe a 1.2 version of the actual, the hardware system, which I still believe that shit is coming sooner than later. A lot of people say, hey, no, it's not. Nintendo doesn't plan on making, another version anytime soon. But no, I believe that when I see that. I still got something in the back of my head is saying that Nintendo's got something up their sleeve when it comes to that. But we'll see. I'll leave Nintendo alone now, and let's move on, guys, shall we? Let's get into some other shit. What I want to also talk about, man, this is a game that, I've played on the, PlayStation 2 and, was very, very fond of and stumbled upon it on accident, in a sense. Me and an ex-girlfriend of mine. And the game is Kingdom Hearts. Finally, guys, finally, we have Kingdom Hearts 3 coming soon. The game is in my opinion, if you ask me, it's damn near finished, if not all the way done. E3 is when we'll probably get the actual, release date for this game. A lot of people, there's been a lot of rumors floating around the internet talking about November is the golden month. November, is the golden month of the release, and we shall see. E3 is around the corner. I think we're gonna get a couple bombs dropped on us. I mean, we certainly did last year, and I cannot wait to see what we have in store this year. And that's just, I'm talking for all games, not any particular system. But man, I'm anxious. I'm really anxious. I want to know the release date of this game. I mean, and if it releases this year, god damn. I mean, it is going to be crazy with all these fucking games coming out for the P3. I'm sorry, P4. And then, like I said, there's also rumors in the air, talking about, Splinter Cell, a new Splinter Cell game. So, goddamn, I loved Blacklist, and still own Blacklist. It's a classic to me. But yeah, man, I can't wait. But Kingdom Hearts, man, it looks fucking awesome. I've seen videos. They had like a press release for like a couple levels not too long ago, and a lot of people got to put their hands on it and, taste the love that that they had a chance to bake up and cook for us, man. And I'm anxious as fuck to play this. I mean, the music was always beautiful. The story was definitely complicated, but good. And it just made me feel some type of way, guys. I mean, that game, the music, the soundtrack, just those games were so beautifully put together, especially, the 1 and 2 Kingdom Hearts games. It's ridiculous. And I can't wait to play 3. I know they went all out for 3. It took them 5 years to fucking make. So the last one was 2013. So yeah, man, I'm anxious to see, where we go with this game. Definitely a purchase for your boy. I recommend this game for everyone because, I didn't even think I was a Kingdom Hearts type of guy. When I saw the Disney characters and, all that shit, I was like, what, this? Nah. And I don't know how I got the game, but somehow I think my girlfriend got the game at the time. And I was like, yo, this is pretty tight. And then I got into the story and the music, and the next thing I know, man, hours flew by and I loved the game. And then, I love me some Kingdom Hearts now. So, that's what that is, guys. So be looking out for Kingdom Hearts. Definitely be looking out for the E3 event. And, I'll be definitely bringing up this subject again, especially when E3 drops. It's going to be so much shit to talk about. I would probably have to spread out the podcast, maybe even do a special podcast. I might have to do 2 podcasts in one week. I've done it before, and I might have to do it again, depending on what what kind of news we get. So be on the lookout for that, guys. Next up, I want to talk about some Dragon Ball. You know that I could not go too long without talking about some kind of Dragon Ball. It was just that the news, there wasn't enough news, and I wanted to make sure that I had enough, saying, to sink my teeth into, in this discussion about Dragon Ball. And one of the first things I want to get into concerning Dragon Ball is there is going to be a Dragon Ball Heroes miniseries, basically a anime, which probably will consist of maybe, a dozen episodes or so, surrounding Dragon Ball Heroes. Now, if you guys don't know, Dragon Ball Heroes is a game that is highly, highly praised in Japan. We don't get this. We never have gotten it, and I don't think we ever will get it, which pisses me off a little bit. But Dragon Ball Heroes is definitely very, very big in Japan, and basically what it is it's kind of like if you gave a Dragon Ball fan, a pen and some paper and told him, hey, write your own fucking Dragon Ball stories. You know what I mean? Create your own characters and then insert them into, the Dragon Ball universe. And, you still have your original Dragon Ball characters, Goku and everybody else in between, the main heavy hitters. And then, you elaborate on that and you add new characters and you add side things to it. So that's pretty much what Dragon Ball Heroes is. It's a card game. I mean, they've done all kind of shit out there. There was a game that I really wanted to play for the 3DS, but like I said, we never got it, and I'm a little saddened by that, man. I would love to play some Dragon Ball Heroes. Maybe one day we get Dragon Ball Heroes out here in the States. I'm still gonna hope and pray that we do, that eventually becomes a reality for us. And it doesn't look like we're going to be getting these anime either. Now, I'm sure that we will get it in a sense to say that, somebody will dub it, at least give us subs for it. And, we can enjoy it that way because, look, if there's any anime Dragon Ball shit floating around, we're going to fucking get it. Some shape, form, or fashion now. I mean, now, if this was back in the 90s and shit, hey, it would be, tough. But now, technology and everything like that, somebody's going to make that happen. If they don't, and if they're smart, they'll do it and make the decision to make that happen for us, at least the anime part of it, and make them a little extra money, because you can sell all of this shit. It's all money. And being a Dragon Ball fan like I am and like we are out here in these Dragon Ball streets, we're gonna buy the shit. So if they're smart, they'll do it the right way. If not, we'll still see it. We'll still find out everything we need to, and whatever. But yeah, that's what's going on with the Dragon Ball Heroes portion of the game, or portion of the news. Now, I want to also talk about the actual movie that's coming out, man. Now, if you guys don't know about the movie that's coming out in December, supposedly December 14th, 2018, there's been, it's all over the internet. There's a screenshot out now of some of the character design for this movie, and I couldn't be fucking happier, because I remember a short clip. I don't know if it was fan made or what, but the animation, it was like Goku, and he was getting ready to fight, that Saiyan, and I just didn't like the way he was drawn, man. It was too many, in my opinion, it was too many curves. It wasn't sharp enough for me. But looking at the screenshots now, guys, all the characters on the screenshot right now, we got Goku, we got Vegeta, we got Piccolo, we got Whis, and we got Beerus. And these characters. And what I love about the art style is it's more of the manga style, or manga, however you want to pronounce it. It's more of that style of the art. And I love that art style. It's sharp. The characters look a little bit younger. And for instance, like Vegeta, he's got a Saiyan, outfit, of course. And, I think they should continue to keep Vegeta in that. That is his trademark. When I think Vegeta, I think, his Saiyan armor, man, all day, every day. That is, don't change that shit, because they tried it. When they were training with Whis and, in Dragon Ball Super in the early portion of it. And it just, I don't know, it just didn't do it for me. I wasn't really a fan of it. And, I'm glad they resorted back to his original Saiyan armor. But that being said, the design of his Saiyan armor here is just slightly different. And when I say that, I mean, when you look at his boots, his boots are usually a sharper tip at the end. You got, where there's a tip at the end of his boot, but here it's kind of more of a curved. It's still the same design, but it's just curved as opposed to being sharp at the tip. Kind of like his boots that he had with his other Saiyan armor with the Wii symbol on it. You know what I mean? But other than that, the color is slightly darker. Like the blue on his stretch, the body part of his suit, which is blue, it's a darker blue. I prefer that color. I prefer it being dark like that. I really like that. And also you can see when you look at the chest plate, on his body or whatever, it's a gray. It's not white anymore. It's like a light gray. It's got a light gray tone to it. They just slightly did a couple things just different. And I like that. Everybody else looks pretty much the same. I mean, Goku, Whis, Beerus, everybody looks like they were drawn out of the manga or manga, however you want to pronounce it. And it's cool, man. I really dig it. And I can't wait for this movie to drop and see what it's about. And then also Piccolo. I mean, come on, man, Piccolo. So at least we know Piccolo, all the Piccolo fans, Piccolo's going to get some love. He's going to be in this movie. And finally, I mean, he's one of the guys that I felt, late in Super that, he didn't get the love he deserved. You know what I mean? And that's just how I feel. I know some other characters that aren't going to get the love, but hey, when you love a character like Tien Shinhan, that's just how it goes, baby. I had to throw that in there. You guys know me. The ones who've been listening to me from day one, they know what I'm talking about when I bring up that man's name. Okay, that is my boy, one of my favorite characters, and he will always be. And I know, I've accepted the fact that he's not going to get love going forward in the Dragon Ball. This is all good, though. It's all good. Vegeta's also another favorite of mine. So, at least he's getting some love. And, we'll leave it at that. But yeah, Whis, Beerus, I got a feeling that they're just going to be in the movie for support. I don't have them doing too much anything. They're still OP as fuck. And I think they're going to leave it up to, the rest of the guys, like they pretty much do or pretty much did in Super, for the most part. And that's cool, as it should be. I don't know any other characters right now that are going to be in the movie from the Z Squad. Maybe that changes. Gohan is still floating out there. We don't know. But the way that they've written Gohan, I mean, he's strong, but he's not like he used to be. So I mean, we can only speculate on that. So hopefully for the Gohan fans, he's in the movie. He gets some love. I feel that he deserves, especially now after training, because this movie takes place after the Tournament of Power. So where everybody is power wise or whatever, everybody's pretty fucking strong right now. I don't know who they're going to be going up against as far as how strong the opponent's going to be, but we'll see. But everybody's pretty juiced up for the most part. Everybody can pretty much handle themselves. I'll say that. And hopefully Gohan makes an appearance, and we will see. But right now, the only characters that they have shown are the ones I mentioned earlier. And like I said, it's still early. We got a long time before December gets here. And I think what they're doing is just bird feeding us right now. They're giving us a little taste, every now and then. And I'm sure they'll add more characters as we get closer and closer to the release of this beautiful fucking movie. And I'll move on after that. That's the news for the movie as far as, what I picked up on thus far. Hope you guys enjoyed that. You can check it out on YouTube. It's everywhere. It's out there. So do yourself a favor if you have not seen the sketches to check those out. Next, I want to talk about Dragon Ball Legends. Yes, kind of a bittersweet, I guess, discussion, if you will. It's going to be short because I have not played it yet. I have not had a chance to play it. Reason why, finally, when I had a chance to pick it up and play, guess what? Guess what I got hit with? I got hit with the we are undergoing maintenance. Yes. And, as of right now, this podcast, it is, close to midnight on a Sunday. And, it's basically saying that, I'm not going to be able to play it until 3 a.m. But But that gives me a whole week to actually sink my teeth into it because I'm getting a new tablet. I destroyed my other one on accident, put it on top of my fucking car, man, and forgot it was there because I put my son in the back seat and I just, was driving and I heard a noise and I was like, what the fuck? And I didn't think nothing of it. And before I realized where my tablet was, I put two and two together, man. I drove back to the scene of the crime where I heard the noise, which was really right by my house. And I saw my beautiful baby, my Samsung, laying on the ground, crushed, laid out. It looked like, Vegeta after Jiren burned him to a fucking crisp at the end of Tournament of Power in Dragon Ball Super. That's what it looked like. And it was done. So I'm going to get another one, and hopefully that's where I want to actually play the game off of on the tablet. I prefer to play it on a bigger screen. My phone is pretty big, and, I'm still going to have it on that phone as well. But I think when I do play it, I probably prefer to play it on a tablet. So since it's undergoing maintenance or whatever, I'm not going to get a chance to, I wanted to tell you guys about it, what I've done, my thoughts on the game or whatever, because I've been anticipating it. But next podcast, I will definitely fill you guys in. Most of you probably already have it or tried it, but it is available. If you guys haven't, then of course, Monday should be all good again for, the download. But I will say this, one thing about, these type of games, man, that's one of the only things it really bothers me is that, maintenance on a lot of this shit, man. When you go online and you have to depend on servers and things of that nature, you succumb to, those kind of setbacks. You have to deal with that. And, it's just irritating sometimes, especially if you're really looking forward to playing something like I was. I finally set some time aside and I was going to get into it. And then I log on and I can't even fucking play. And you're at the mercy of the server gods. And that's just like what it is. That's universal. That goes for everything. All these fucking updates on Sony, which they have a shit ton of them all the time, seems like every other fucking day. And, if you want to play a certain game, I mean, that's just the nature of the beast, I guess, now with all this online shit. That's another reason why I love my, single player games, because I can just, if anything, worst case scenario, something happened to the internet, it was acting up for whatever reason, or just the servers were down, I could still jump in and I could still play, certain titles, certain games, you know what I mean? And that's just how I feel about it. But it is what it is. But yeah, I will give you guys a heads up and my thoughts on the Dragon Ball Legends soon, because, I'm anxious how my teams are going to be, because like I said, there's so many characters to choose from and unlock or whatever. And what I like about this game, from what I've heard from friends, is that you can grind for what you pretty much want. If you grind long enough, you'll get the shit that you need. And it's not as random shit. Like if you want this one character or you need this thing, you can actually grind and get these things. If you're willing to do that. And that's cool with me. There's a story mode involved in it as well, so I'm anxious to see what that's going to be about. And yeah, man, and building my squad. So we will find out all the good shit next week on that. The last thing that I want to discuss is what I've been doing as of late. And what I mean by that is what I've been watching this past week, I should say. Remember, if you guys don't remember, I was telling you guys that I was going to try to catch up on some anime and, talk a little bit about it to let you guys know what I was looking at. And I did do that, but my goal was to check out some My Hero Academia, which I kind of breezed through, and got the gist of what's going on right now. And it is fucking epic. The last episode, I think it was episode 4 of season 3 was epic as fuck. Okay. I will say that. And I don't like talking about it because, there's a lot of people who haven't checked it out and I don't want to spoil anything like that. So, I was just going to say, check it out, man. It's definitely dope. Just check it out. Also, some Boruto shit, because Boruto, if you guys don't know, man, it is heating the fuck up and shit is about to get real fast, in that world. And I have not had a chance to get back on Boruto yet. I regret to inform you guys. Man, that is another major goal for your boy to get caught up on Boruto because I have been slipping. I've just got a lot of shit going on, man, and trying to fit everything in is crazy. I blame God of War for a lot of this shit because it ate up a shitload of my time. I put over 100 hours in God of War, and you know, I want to say maybe like 120 hours in that game. You know, God, half of that time was fighting the fucking Valkyries. They are crazy, especially the queen, man. God damn. But anyway, I'm going to upload the video. I recorded that fight I had with her, and I'm going to put it on my page, my YouTube channel eventually. Like I said, I'm just late as fuck with everything, but just bear with me, guys. But what I have been watching is something that's been in my Netflix queue for so fucking long, along with all kinds of other anime just sitting in there collecting dust, virtual dust. And that is Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood. Yeah, man, I've been stuck on that. I think I'm right now like in the beginning of season 4, and I still got 5 to do, but I've been binging that. That's what I've been on, and god damn it, what a good anime. What a fucking great anime, let me say that. You know, I watched a little of Full Metal Alchemist, the original, and I couldn't really get into it as much as good. It was decent. But somebody told me to check out Brotherhood, and Brotherhood is based more on the manga than the early series when they were younger or whatever. And you know, I said, you know what, I got that in my queue. I've been meaning to get to it, but I just, you know, so much shit to watch and there's so many things out there and not enough time. But I said, you know what, let me sit the fuck down and, you know, hit this play button on Full Metal and Brotherhood and check it out. And it did not disappoint. It is fucking excellent. And I recommend this anime to anyone who hasn't seen it. I know a lot of us out there have heard of it. I've heard of it. I know there's a lot of fans of the series out there, and now I understand why. You know, it took everything in my heart not to, you know, Google and find out what happened. Did they get their bodies back or whatnot? I was like, yo, I'm not going to do that. I want to watch this and I want to let the shit unfold. And I'm glad I did that. I'm enjoying myself. Like, you know, as soon as I get off of this podcast and finish this up, I'm going right back. I'm going to get in bed and I'm going to turn it on, and I am going to finish a major chunk of it tonight, and then I'll probably have it finished by Wednesday. Yeah, because I don't think I'm watching anything else until that's done, and then I'll move on to something else. But yeah, man, I kind of I need to, I guess, make kind of like a continuation of things to do as far as when I'm watching something. So in other words, when I get to the end of Full Metal Alchemist, I need to say, well, you know, I need to have something lined up and ready after Full Metal, something I can, you know, sink my teeth into like this, that excites me. Because when I first saw the first few episodes, man, I was all in. I was excited that I was so early in the series and I had so much to watch, so much more to watch. And the characters, what I love about Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood is that the characters in this they're so good, man. Like all of them. Like, I mean, I love Roy Mustang. I love Winry. I love all of the fucking characters in this game, in this show. I do. They're all excellent, and it's pretty dark too. It's darker than, you know, I would have thought that this anime was. To be honest with you, so I also like that about it too, because, you know, if you guys know me, I do like my dark anime. I do like, you know, that darkness, that dark undertone. You know what I mean? So I think it gives me it's like a full palette. It gives me everything, just enough of everything, man. In my opinion, that's just, you know, how I feel about the series. And like I said, I can't wait to finish it. And I am a new fan. I definitely will add this to one of my favorite animes. It's up there. I'm not gonna say Dragon Ball or Naruto, but it's close. It's right up under there. I'm not gonna lie about that, and it's probably gonna get better. Scar is another character that's dope. He's fucking awesome, man. I mean, the history and everything. They wrote it. It's definitely well written. I will say that, and I see why, you know, there are fans of the series, and I understand now. And I've also heard of they have some games out too. So I'm going to get curious and I'm going to go out and see what I can find in the Full Metal Alchemist gaming scene and watch some videos, do some research and see what I can come up with. Because I got a PSP and I know there's a PSP game, 1 or 2 of them on there. So I'm going to try to see if I can find that. And what else? I think they got some DS or 3DS games too. So a lot of this shit came to the States. So I'm going to see what's good and what's worth checking out and try to make that a reality at some point in time. You know what I mean? If it's an anime and I fuck with it, then, we need to make moves to support these guys. If I like it, I will definitely be supporting it, spending my money with it. That includes, collecting items, t-shirts, statues, figurines, all that shit. You know what I mean? Add some more shit. So it looks like I need to make a small space area and make some room for some Full Metal Alchemist collectibles in there. So yeah, man, I mean, it feels good when you find another anime that you really hit home with and, you can get into, and it's just a beautiful thing. You know what I mean? Why limit yourself? And I think Dragon Ball for all of this shit, because if it wasn't for Dragon Ball, I mean, Dragon Ball's like that gateway, the gateway anime. You know what I mean? The one that gets you kind of like set up and curious about other anime. You know what I mean? And I was watching that shit when it was fucking taboo, like back in 97. You know what I mean? Before, anybody really knew what it was, even including myself. And, here we are today. So with that being said, guys, that is going to do it for the show. Check out Full Metal Alchemist if you have not checked it out. It's a dope anime. Check out all the shit we talked about Dragon Ball, the upcoming Dragon Ball Heroes shit. If you guys have any comments, questions, or concerns, you can always hit me. No hesitation. At Studio MacGyver on Twitter, at Studio MacGyver on Facebook, or you can hit me at Studio MacGyver79 on Instagram. All day, all the time. Holla at your boy. I'm going to say I love you guys. Thank you for listening. I appreciate your support. Continue to do so, and I will continue to put these out on a weekly basis. And I'm going to get up out of here, guys. With that being said, you have been listening to Studio MacGyver's Dragon Ball and Video Game Podcast. See you next time.